Have you heard of this very cringe influencer named Andrew Tate who's been clogging up all of your social channels, whether it be TikTok or YouTube Shorts? Do you even know why he's famous? The self-help industry is expected to do $43.7 billion in 2022. By 2030, it's going to do over $67 billion. That's a compound annual growth rate of over 5.5%. Why are we so obsessed with self-help? My name is Ben Lee. I used to run a company with over 300 employees in 5 countries. I got really burned out during the pandemic. I gave it all up, decided to move to Costa Rica, and now I'm committed to helping my audience figure out how to do the same, whether it's pivoting your life, quitting your job, or finding a new side hustle. Today, we're gonna be talking about 4 ways Andrew Tate has hijacked your social feed in a matter of months. I didn't even know who he was until last week. And in fact, I wouldn't be his really target audience going out to look for him or search for him. In fact, I get really cringed out by these types of guys, but it is my job to understand what is going on and what's trending on the internet. And I'm fortunate to have a really smart network of Gen Zs who are always feeding me this information. A couple days ago, a couple guys on my team are basically like, Ben, you have to check this guy out. I didn't even know who he was. And lo and behold, I start seeing this incredibly cringe growth hacker who is ranking in so many different categories without really any social media. And he's actually reinvented himself in this whole new category of being a MAGA influencer, which is Make America Great Again. So he's aligning himself with Donald Trump. He's an alleged human trafficker. He's got assault charges. He's not what you would call a good person, but the internet is completely mesmerized by this character, and especially this is the new idol that young males are worshiping. And even if you look at normal influencers and creators on YouTube, you don't actually find that many people hating on him. You find a lot of people respecting him, and as a result, he's got tens of thousands of people paying him $49 a month every single month for his trash business content, whether it's DeFi, Forex, affiliate marketing, which I don't even really think he's qualified to be talking about any of those. He has been raking it in and creating a massive following and empire. Being the growth hacker that I am, I had to totally dissect how this guy did it. How did someone that I've never heard of basically create ultra internet fame in a matter of months? So let's dive in. Number 1, he's clearly a very experienced digital marketer and growth hacker. If we look at what his strategy is, he's essentially borrowing what Elon Musk does. He turns himself into a meme and he goes viral for it. Whether it's the most outlandish things one could say, things that insult people, or things that are just extremely cringe that would make most people's hairs jump up, he's being completely reshared, retweeted, and scaled for it. This is also a very common strategy that we've seen in artists like Lil Nas X, where he's able to create parody content or meme content or a network of superfan accounts like he did in Old Town Road to boost himself in the top of the charts and hack his way on the top playlist when he launched his album. He doesn't even have that many branded social media accounts. He has affiliates promoting him through these superfan accounts. So like, even if we Google his name, most personalities have their social media accounts at the top. Well, we don't really see that. We see an Instagram account, which isn't really updated as much, but what we see is videos that are viral reshares and reposts that are user generated, they're affiliates, they're people who have some affiliation to him, maybe no affiliation at all, just littering the internet with a bunch of Andrew Tate content. So it's definitely an effective strategy, and it's one that's kind of frightening because it's been so powerful for him in such a short period of time. It also creates the illusion that he's a very important guy. So if you look at real celebrities, A-listers or B-listers, if you look up Brad Pitt, for example, on YouTube, you'll see a lot of people, whether it's news outlets or media outlets or TMZ or user-generated people posting about him because he's a real public figure. He's not just an influencer. So that shows that there is a lot of search volume and there's a lot of people looking for this. He's actually hacked that illusion where, people are really interested in this topic. And they may not have been a year ago, but now they are. So he is the definition of fake it till you make it. Andrew also knows how to align himself with some of the worst possible brands you could possibly align yourself with. Donald Trump, Nigel Oakes, the founder of Cambridge Analytica, the team responsible behind Brexit, human trafficking allegations, assault against women. He's essentially thrown a digital grenade on his name and it's splattered all over the internet. And rather than getting canceled or ridiculed for it, it's actually the reverse. He's getting more internet fame, he's getting more respect, and he's getting more conversions on his community and his courses. Because most of his traffic is organic, he doesn't even have to pay for any paid ads, which is crazy to me. He's literally gotten billions of impressions without having to pay a penny for a click. He's got an army of people out there promoting him. Number 2, he's got very good copywriters. Everything he writes are things that most young people are thinking about today. Why does God exist? Why should I be an atheist? What's the point of going to college? How do I get rich? These are things that we're seeing popular on YouTube or Google search trends. So he's taking ideas that aren't original or new, but he's repackaging and retwisting them in a really interesting way, and then just distributing them out all over the web. He clearly has direct response writers who are familiar, whether it's Jordan Belfort or other self-help gurus. You know, they know how to speak to that audience of young, frustrated males who want to meet girls, who want to get rich, and they, for whatever reason, connect to this type of person, you know, almost like a cult-like idol. We also know this because he's using teleprompters. In some of his videos, he actually has his iPhone open and he's reading from a script the entire time. Now, possibly the most interesting thing about his copywriting style is that he's able to align himself with extreme conservative political ideologies and views, whether it's his love or appreciation for guns, his hate for women, his MAGA influencing, but he's very careful to never actually explicitly talk about politics. This allows him to catch a really wide net in terms of both liberals and conservatives, and to never be shadow banned, which is something very important. When we saw the insurrection with Trump, or we saw a lot of MAGA influencers start creating content, most of their channels got shut down on YouTube. Number 3, he's a master at reinventing himself. Now, coming from LA and being in the technology industry for the last 15 years, this is something I'm very familiar with. Most people who are working in the gray or dark areas of the web, whether it's crypto, DeFi, Forex, affiliate marketing, adult traffic, you know, credit card scams, whatever it is, most of these guys are sociopaths. Most of them live a life much larger and louder than they can possibly afford, and most of them get wiped out in a downward market. So what happens is, the economy is really, really good for a couple of years, like we saw during the COVID boom. We saw a lot of stimulus money, and then now we're seeing signs of a global recession. So what happens is regulations get tightened, money starts to dry up, and most of these guys start to get exposed. Now, I'm not saying that's going to be the case with him, but I've seen this trend for a long time. Now, what's interesting about him is he's been able to constantly reinvent himself for the last 15 years. At 21, he first appeared as a low-rate reality show star in the UK. Then he was on Big Brother. Then he became a professional boxing champion. Then he started an agency for cam girls, where he's currently running that business out of Romania. Then he turned himself into a wannabe rapper. And now he wears multiple hats as a self-help guru, a MAGA influencer, and a dating coach. I gotta give the guy credit. He clearly knows how to reinvent himself, and I'm kind of curious what he's gonna do next. Number 4, he knows the recipes for going viral. As a content creator, he knows exactly what he's doing. He's starting with video content at the top, likely starting it for the purposes of YouTube, which is what your pillar content is. Then he takes long form content, he chops it up, and he 10x's his content output, making it go viral on TikTok or YouTube Shorts or Instagram Reels. And as far as ideas and topics are concerned, he chooses very, very viral and sticky topics to discuss. If we look at the example with Will and Jada Pinkett Smith, he knew exactly what he was doing when he was doing a reply video to that. He knew that there was going to be a lot of search volume for that on YouTube, and by doing a reply video to that, that would likely boost his SEO and his rank score. Because he's so addicted to the likes, the views, and the impressions, that becomes a really dangerous game to play. We've seen that happen with Logan Paul when he did that suicide video in Japan. We've seen that happen with a lot of other creators who start getting so married and so obsessed to the clicks that it becomes their downfall of their career. A lot of those guys have reinvented himself, so the big question is, will Andrew Tate be able to do the same? And will he be able to survive a lot of these criminal allegations against him? Only time will tell. Is he going to be a case study for marketing in universities one day, or is he just going to be another cautionary tale? What's even worse is that the whole world is literally his enabler. Creators, influencers, like including myself, are even talking about this guy. I was really having this ethical dilemma whether I even wanted to do this video, because a part of me was like, well, I don't really even want to give this guy any of that, any of my time. Now, I realize that if this does go viral, I'm kind of sounding like a hypocrite like a lot of these other creators. Now, the reasons why I'm doing this is because there are very, very, very specific things that he's doing that any creator can do. He's following a framework that is available. If anything, he's open sourced his style of going viral that can be available to you. Now, the problem with growth hacking is this: it's really up to the creator to do good with it or to do bad. As a digital marketer, that's something we always have to keep in mind. It's a very complex line we have to cross with brands we work with, personalities we align with. Is that content going to be something that is good if people consume, or is it just going to become dark and evil? Now, that's up to you to decide. I personally will not be engaging in any more of his content. In fact, I kind of want to close the loop on all of this after this video, but I did have a really interesting and fun experience going through it and understanding what was the process and what were the steps that he was taking. I hope you found this video useful. As always, you can like and hit subscribe. I love talking about growth hacking, business, finance, real estate, and a lot of other topics. Now, it's going to be up to you to use a lot of what you're seeing today for good. Create a positive message, make it go viral. Don't use it for bad.